We are in the palace of the great Zeno, which all its palaces would tremble completely because the great Zeno had released a bit of his power. But my lord, are you sure of what you are about to do? A mortal cannot have a title like that. In fact, he can even choose one of the gods as a candidate, or much better, one of the angels, but not a mortal. Grand Priest, I have already told you, Goku will be the new supreme god, since after the demonstration of his power in the exhibition tournament and in the power tournament, I am more than sure, and this is not a discussion. You are only here to carry out my orders. Grand Priest, with a great anger, but knowing that he did not have the power required to do something against his guardians, would make a reverence. I understand, my lord. I'm sorry. It was just my little point of view, but I understand. If that is how you want Goku to be the new supreme god, I will accept it. When he asks you for your point of view, you can give it to me, since otherwise it is better to save your comments. And I want you to be Goku's master, so that his power increases in an amazing way. Do you understand? Of course, my lord. I will personally take care of training Mr. Goku, so that he becomes a very powerful warrior. Do not worry about that. Meanwhile, returning to the planet of Beerus, we can see how a great aura rises throughout the planet. That's right, Goku had been able to master the Ultra Instinct at 100%, being able to access that state at will. Wow, I am surprised at the ease with which he has been able to master the Ultra Instinct, but apparently he has been able to master it at 100%, so he will be able to have the Ultra Instinct even as his new base state if he so wishes. Thank you very much, Whis, but all this is thanks to you, since it does not matter how hard I try, I do not have any of your knowledge. Your knowledge is what helps me to reach a new level. So I thank you. Do not worry, Mr. Goku, since you have been looking too much, but I must confess something to you. It is said that there is the Super Saiyan 4, a transformation in which he explodes destructive power. I do not know if he is able to combine the Super Saiyan 4 with his divine power. Wow, Super Saiyan 4? I never heard of a transformation with that name. That is incredible. And of course I want to access that transformation, to later try to combine it with my divine energy. I am sure that I will become very powerful. In that case, if so, we can start with the training that will allow him to access the Super Saiyan Phase 4, since it is said that it is a primitive transformation. Whis, with the help of his staff, would make Goku's tail grow again. Thanks to this, Goku would begin with a rigorous training mainly of meditation. You must control your mortal energy in the same way 100%, since it will be useful for you to master your Osaru state, because you have not been able to master your tail like ordinary Saiyans. You must master your mortal energy 100%. I understand, Whis. Do not worry. I will continue with the meditation, since I want to become much more powerful. I know that I am able to achieve it, so do not worry. Meanwhile, in a place far from the divine kingdom, all the angels were gathered because Grand Priest had requested an emergency meeting. What happened? Since our father has never informed us of an emergency meeting, and for him to do so on this occasion without prior notice, that means that something very serious is happening in the 12 universes. Maybe you are right, Vados, but it may also be something merely informative. Since it will not always be bad news, you must have a little more good faith, since if you continue with that negative mentality, you will bring nothing positive to your life. Our brother is right, Vados. All the angels here know that you are called the most powerful angel among the 12, but you must have another point of view. At the moment, a great portal would be formed around you, which would be Grand Priest. I thank you for coming, angels. This is of utmost importance to me, and I want you to know what I will do in the future, and I would like to count on the support of all my children. But Father, if you want to count on the support of all your children, we should wait for Whis, since otherwise he would have to repeat everything again.
No, Vados. Whis has not been notified about this meeting because his character has been influenced by the mortals. Due to that, his neutral temperament has disappeared, so nothing we talk about in this meeting can come out to his gods, and less to Whis. I understand, Father, so you can inform us what you would do without any problem, since none of us will say anything about it, so please continue. I thank you, my son. I continue. I am tired of serving the dwarf of Zeno. It is supposed that we angels are the most powerful race of all the 12 universes, even of the whole cosmos. Why can't we be the rulers? I am about to overthrow Zeno, and I would like to count on the support of all of you. The murmurs among the angels were evident because they were not prepared to receive such news. However, Grand Priest would once again break in silently. I am sure that all of you will wonder why I want to rebel the useless Zeno. I want to give the position of Supreme God to the mortal son Goku. A simple mortal. I would understand that he should be offered to a god or even an angel, but not a mortal. If we continue with his mandate, I am sure that he will bring ruin to the 12 universes. I understand your point of view, Father. You know that I prefer probabilities, so I ask you, what is your plan next? Since even if it has our support, we will not be able to do anything against the guardians of Zeno, much less if Zeno is able to access his combat form. The first thing I have in mind is to end the life of Son Goku, or rather, to seal him for all eternity in the demonic realm, since it is said that the fourth prince of hell hates the Saiyan, which is said to have been defeated by the power of the original Saiyan. I understand, Father, and I know that you have our total support. If you create a new dynasty, of course we will be with you. The race of angels will rise throughout the 12 universes, and we will no longer be servants of the gods and kings. We will be rulers. That would be my first step for the new dynasty that I want to create. My next step would be to end the life of the guardians of Zeno, and for that, we will need... At the moment, Grand Priest's baculum would begin to sound because Zeno would require his presence in his palace. Because of this, Grand Priest would sigh a little.
The useless Zeno asked for my presence, so I withdraw my children. In a few days, I will give you the details for the new dynasty that we will form. Grand Priest would march towards the palace of Zeno, just as each angel would march towards their respective universe. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of Zeno, Grand Priest would arrive being received by a furious Zeno, who was preparing everything to go out with his guardians in search of Grand Priest. Where the hell have you gotten, Grand Priest? How could you not answer my call? I was about to go out in search of you. Don't let this situation happen again. I apologize, my lord, but I had to solve a few issues that I had pending. For that reason, I was able to leave the palace. We are not interested in your excuses, priest. Didn't you hear the great Zeno? If he asks you to be here in a minute, you have to be here even before. Do you understand, trash? Grand Priest would bow his head as he apologized to Zeno and his guardians. There is very little left to finish with all of you damned good worms for nothing. I will rejoice while you beg me for your lives. I swear I will make you suffer. I have been thinking about everything you told me, Grand Priest, and this time I want us to carry out an elimination tournament of all the immortal gods, since they have been placed on multiple planets in which they would have to win the key to the magic chest to get out, and the team that is victorious will be able to choose the new supreme god. And I am sure that Son Goku from Universe 7 will win the victory, and you will be convinced. I understand, my lord, but did I understand correctly? This time the gods of destruction will also participate?
Why should the gods participate, my lord? Because there are even mortals who compare themselves with the power of the gods, while others do not have that power, so that everything is more equal. Even their gods will have the benefit of participating in this elimination tournament. I understand, my lord. In that case, how much time do I have to inform all the gods about the new elimination tournament? Or do you prefer that I call the tournament to find the supreme god? That name does not sound bad, but do not give the gods the slightest detail. Just inform them about a new tournament in which they will also participate, and I want this tournament to be held in approximately 2 months so that they have time to train. I understand, my lord. In that case, I am going to fulfill my duty. Meanwhile, returning to the planet of Beerus, all this time with the help of Whis's baculum, they had managed to make Goku able to master his tail in the best possible time. Thanks to this, Goku would be able to access a new transformation, causing the entire planet of Beerus to shake completely. However, despite being a surprising power, it was not compared to the power he possessed in his divine transformations. The power that runs through my body is amazing, but definitely the Ultra Instinct is much more powerful than this state, but it has helped me to master my inner energy. Mr. Goku, it will be better if you take a break, because you have been training for several consecutive months, and you better than anyone knows if you do not have a good rest, the training can be double-edged, so try to rest. Of course, Whis, for that same reason I have planned to return to planet Earth for a few months to spend it with my wife and children, and I also want to see how my crops are going. I promise you that when I sow, I will bring you a great feast. That would interest me, Mr. Goku, but for me it will be a pleasure to taste your harvest. Goku would return to his base state while he put his fingers on his forehead with the intention of teleportation. I thank you for all the training, Whis. Now I will go to planet Earth. Goku would disappear from the place, arriving quickly to planet Earth, arriving with his wife and children, having a great feast because he had not seen his father in a few months. Goku enjoyed with his family. He did not know that those would be his last days of peace and calm that they would have, due to the fact that Grand Priest would begin to inform everyone and each of the destroyer gods about a new tournament that the great Zeno would carry out in approximately 2 months. Vados and Mojito, I want you to accompany me on this mission, since we have to eradicate Son Goku once and for all. But if we end his life without any reason, it would be very suspicious, so we must find the perfect opening. I understand, Father. In that case, you should wait for the perfect moment, since if we attack him at this moment, even a relative of Son Goku can discover us. Although it is difficult to admit it, I agree with my sister Vados. It is the best, Father. The next day, Goku was in his vegetable field, but while he was under a sun, he thought about the transformation of Super Saiyan 4. Before taking some time for my family, I wanted to master the power of Super Saiyan 4 100%, since I was only able to achieve this transformation, but I have not been able to control the wear and tear of his energy. Goku would quickly put on his training clothes, heading to the sacred temple with the intention of training in the Room of Time, but without Goku noticing, he was stalked by the great priest and his 2 sons. But Father, how do you plan to end Son Goku's life, or do you definitely plan to send him to the Infernal Kingdom, specifically to the 4th Prince of Hell? That is what I long for the most. I want that bastard to suffer, since for his damned fault, even Whis has stopped being neutral, and the useless Zeno wants him to be the new supreme god. I want him to suffer for all eternity. However, Goku's energy would completely disappear, surprising the three angels, who did not understand what had happened. But Vados, being the smartest angel of all, began to analyze everything that had happened, being able to notice the room of time. Wow, this is what I did not expect. Apparently, the mortal Goku was able to access another dimension, with the intention of having better results in a much shorter time. But I am surprised that there is such a room on this insignificant planet. Wow. Apparently, I will not be able to send Son Goku to the demonic kingdom.
But this will be much more satisfying, since I will be able to seal him in the room that he himself has chosen. Wait for me here. I will personally take care of him. Meanwhile, inside the room of time, Goku was standing, observing the whole place, noticing to start his last training. However, Goku felt a familiar presence in the place, while in the sky a portal began to form, as well as a great pressure would fall on the whole place. But if you are the Grand Priest, what are you doing in this place? Do you want to train with me? Because of your miserable fault, the useless Zeno is changing everything that for millions of years it has cost me to build. So I, as the great priest, grant you the curse of immortality. But likewise, I will be sealed in this dimension by my own power. Hundreds of energy chains adhered to the dimension itself, while Grand Priest left the place, leaving Goku in the room of time, as he had manipulated the dimension itself so that time passes in a much faster way, and that Son Goku's agony is much more painful. The first step is complete, but now we require the Super Dragon Balls to be able to bring to life that subject called Black Goku, so that he can be passed by him. Grand Priest would be able to completely seal the dimension of the room of time, even forming a large dimensional clock in the entire room of time. Due to this, Goku's agony would be much stronger, knowing how long he would be sealed in that place. Grand Priest, when he disappeared from the place, Goku would try to leave the room of time, because he thought it was all a bad joke. What happened to Grand Priest? I haven't done anything to be betrayed. I was even able to bring to life all 12 universes of the Power Tournament. Goku, when trying to leave the room, his face would pass from joy to terror and anger, because the door of the dimension had completely disappeared. Because of this, Goku had released all his power. However, no matter how amazing his power was, Goku had not managed to do absolutely anything. No, this can't be happening. But I know that I will be able to leave this dimension by expelling all my power, since it was the same as Gotenks in Super Saiyan 3 did, being able to create a dimensional portal. I have the divine energy. Goku would then access the Super Saiyan Blue maximum power, beginning to squeeze his fists due to all the power he was releasing. However, no matter how amazing his power was, he was unable to create any dimensional crack in the room, leaving him surprised and frustrated because his power was much greater than that of a Super Saiyan 3 being. No, damn it. How is it possible that I am not able to open a damn portal to the outside? My divine energy is much more powerful than mortal energy, but now I will try with my mortal energy. I have no intention of staying in this pathetic place.
Goku, at the moment, in his base state, would begin to access each of his transformations, with the intention of creating a small portal, with the intention of leaving that place. However, no matter how great his efforts were, he could not do it. Because the moment Goku accessed Super Saiyan 3, everything around him began to change drastically. However, he was unable to create any dimensional crack. I have one more transformation, so I plan to use everything that is in my hands. As far as I remember, Grand Priest granted me immortality. I want to check if that is real, because if I die, I will even be able to leave this damned place. Goku, at the moment, exceeding each of his limits, would be able to access Super Saiyan 4. However, he would not stay there, because he was overloading his body. But after a few minutes, a great explosion would be generated all over the place. That's right. All of Goku's body had exploded into hundreds of pieces through the room of time. Meanwhile, outside, Grand Priest, along with his 2 children, they managed to reunite the Super Dragon Balls. Father, this is the farthest place from all 12 universes, because on this planet my brother Vados even trains, so we can summon Salama without problem. My brother is right, Father. This is the farthest planet. As much, the closest thing to this place is even another universe if it existed. What Vados did not know was that indeed, beings from other multiverses were watching them closely, even studying everything that happened in the multiverse of Zeno. That seems perfect to me. Now we will continue with the second step of our new rebellion, which is to bring life to Black Goku again. He will go through Son Goku, as will be the being that gives us all kinds of information about Beerus and Whis. Grand Priest at the moment would invoke the powerful god Salama, managing to ask for his wish. Due to this, the powerful god Salama with his great power would make Black Goku appear again in front of Grand Priest and his 2 children, finding himself very confused. What happened? How is it possible that I am alive? If I was eliminated by the damned Zeno when I managed to merge with Zamasu. But what are you doing here? Without Grand Priest saying anything, a lot of pressure would fall on Black's whole body, breaking several of his bones by his simple pressure. We have been able to bring you back to life, so you better cooperate. Otherwise, I can end your miserable life with the snap of my fingers. I understand, Grand Priest Sama. Please stop releasing your pressure. I feel that my whole body is completely destroyed. I don't know what happened, but I swear to grant you all my loyalty. Grand Priest would stop releasing his pressure, while in the same way he would heal each and every one of Black's wounds. I will go to the point with you. I want you to pretend to be Son Goku, since we have betrayed him and sealed him in an alternate dimension, from which he will never be able to leave. In case you refuse, I will end your miserable life and create a copy of Son Goku. What? They were able to betray Son Goku? How ironic! It really surprises me. But the same people for whom he always gave life, those same people were able to betray him. It's ironic, but count on me for anything. Apparently, he is getting confused, since his friends were not able to betray him. We angels betrayed him, since we cannot allow a mere mortal to become the new supreme god. That is incorrigible. That position is for a divine being. I cannot believe Son Goku has been nominated to be the new supreme god. It is supposed that only beings of divine energy and with great power are candidates for positions, even surpassing the authority of the powerful Ben Shekin. Indeed, even you being only a supreme apprentice, you have knowledge of the hierarchies of power. But the useless Zeno had the shame of wanting to offer the position of supreme god to a mere mortal. So for that same reason, we have thought of creating a revolution against the useless Zeno. Count on me for anything. But what do you mean by a revolution? We do not know the reason why we angels, even being more powerful than the gods, we must follow them and be their leaders.
Now we want to rule. Indeed, even I am tired of being the mere guardian of Zeno. Now I want much more. I want to be me, the being that governs over all that exists, and I will achieve it. So finally the angels know what their value is, and they want to rebel. Let me tell you that I am definitely inside, since just as you want to eradicate the stupid king of this world, I also want to eradicate all mortals who believe they are gods, since it is an insult to the true gods. I understand your point of view, but while you are pretending to be Son Goku, you cannot end anyone's life, since we know that Son Goku is not that kind of person. Sure, understand. It complicates me a bit, since I hate mortals, but I understand. I understand that it is for a greater good, so there is no problem. In that case, I count on you, and I will grant you a little more power in case the God Beast or even the Angel Gi want to interfere in your plans. But if I find out that all this fails and it is your fault, believe me that I plan to make you suffer in the worst possible way. A chill would go through the entire body of Black Goku, while at the moment an incredible power would enter his entire body, while in the same way all his bones began to destroy a little, due to the new power that his body was experiencing. This power is incredible, although my body hurts too much. I know it is a new power with which I will be able to even face the angels. I like this plan too much. Since we have informed him of everything that will happen, he has to train that new power, and in a few days even the God Beast will come to his planet because a new power tournament will be held, so he has to keep a low profile. I understand, Vados. I thank you very much, but can you leave me on planet Earth, since I am not able to feel any energy to use the teleportation? Of course, since this planet is inhospitable, I will never feel the energy of any living being, because it is completely impossible. On the other hand, in the room of time, Goku's body had been completely rebuilt, leaving him even surprised, since at this time, Goku's body had exploded dozens of times trying to get out of that place. No matter how, damn it. So that miserable Grand Priest was really able to seal me in this pathetic place? It's been 10 years since I've been sealed in this place. Have my friends not noticed my disappearance? I'm sure they will be able to rescue me. So 1,000 years had passed from the room of time, while outside only a few days, because Grand Priest at the time of modifying the room would not be able to distort time itself, so that his agony is amazing. In all this time, Son Goku's spirit had changed completely, since due to loneliness he had not trained at all, falling into a great depression. But as a millennium passed, Goku's determination would return to his eyes, while he would stand up,
while a few rays were released all over the place. I always wanted to dominate the divine state in my transformation of the Super Saiyan 4. I have not thought of staying in this dimension for the rest of eternity. That damned Grand Priest will be able to admire my true power and will regret having betrayed me. Goku, with much more determination, would stand up, accessing the Super Saiyan 4, but because 1,000 years had passed, he was not able to control his energy completely. Due to this, the moment he accessed 100% of all his power, a great explosion would be seen all over the place, due to the fact that Goku's body would explode, but would quickly begin to rebuild again. Wow! Apparently, not having trained for the last millennium, my body is not used to my power, but that can be solved by returning with training. Goku would once again begin his great training with the intention of regaining 100% of mortal energy. Meanwhile, Black Goku would reach planet Earth, in which he would march towards a part of the mountains, beginning to meditate with the intention of mastering all the power that Grand Priest had granted him. The only thing that bothers me is this stupid orange outfit, since my style is much better. But I'm sure if I change my outfit one day, these wretches will realize that I am not the same. While Black Goku was still meditating, Beerus and Whis had arrived on planet Earth, specifically to Bulma's house, where they met with Vegeta. "Hey Vegeta, do you know where Goku's useless is? Since I have to give you great news, and this is also life and death, and I don't want to repeat it again. I really don't know where Kakarot is, sir, but most likely he is training with the intention of becoming much more powerful. Give me a moment, sir, since with the help of my scapula, I can find him quickly. So there is no problem." Whis, with the help of his scapula, was able to locate Black Goku in the mountains, heading together with Beerus and Vegeta. Because of this, a great light would appear in front of Black Goku. Well, well, but if it is Mr. Beerus and Whis, what happened? There is no time for that, since the King of Everything wants us to carry out another tournament in the coming months. But unlike the last tournament, this time even the gods of destruction will participate. That does sound interesting. You know you can count on me, Mr. Beerus, since my intention is always to become much more powerful, and I will only achieve that if I am able to face much more powerful beings, since in this whole universe there is no warrior who is capable of defeating me. These words would anger Vegeta as well as Beerus. Are you trying to make me understand that you are much more powerful than me? I'm sorry, Mr. Beerus, but I don't understand. I'm not saying it, since my power is much greater than yours, and I'm sure I would be able to beat him. Damn, Goku, good for nothing. I don't know what the hell is going on, but you are completely wrong if you want to have enough power to beat me. We will only know that when we are able to fight, so whenever you want, you can attack me. But don't trust me, since I won't have mercy. For his part, in the Kingdom of Nothing, Grand Priest would begin to build the great platform on which the new tournament will be held. But his resistance was much more, since this time even the gods of destruction would participate. This will be the last mandate I make for that damned dwarf, since I want to see that bastard's face when he sees that everything that he has built will be ruled by me. Grand Priest would continue with his work. Returning to the battlefield, annoying Beerus would swing against Black Goku,
However, this fast and ferocious movement would manage to connect a powerful blow to Beerus's stomach. I warned you, Beerus. It will be better if you don't underestimate me. Since in the entire Universe 7, there was no warrior who was able to face me. Wow, I have not been able to see absolutely anything. Is this the result of Kakarot's training? But it hasn't been that long. How was he able to raise his power of that magnitude? I agree with you, Mr. Vegeta. Mr. Goku's power has increased in a great way. But remember, a great increase in power is useless if you are not able to use it at a good level. And don't worry, since Mr. Beerus will not lose a single blow. At the moment, a great aura would rise throughout Universe 7, while an amazing power began to feel all around him. That's right, this time Beerus would expel 100% of all his power, while Whis would instantly form a great barrier throughout the universe, so that the battle of both warriors is not able to destroy any planet. Beerus, without saying a word, would swing against Black Goku, beginning to exchange thousands of blows throughout the universe. But despite the fact that this time Beerus uses 100% of all his power, he was not able to connect an effective blow to him, while Goku would instantly move away a little more. At this moment, I will show you the power beyond a god of destruction, the power that Grand Priest has been able to grant me. The latter would only think about it while all his hair would turn silver like his eyes. That's right, this time Black Goku would achieve the perfect Ultra Instinct thanks to Grand Priest. However, those present were amazed by the power that was emanating. Meanwhile, in the Room of Time, Goku in all this time would manage to control the power of Super Saiyan 4 to 100%, intending to combine it with his divine energy. To be continued.